Hi guys, it's Tarkin, and your eyes do not deceive you. We're playing Diablo 2. Look at the screen. That says Warlock. There's a Warlock class. 25 years we've been waiting. And there's a new class in Diablo 2. I am so excited. So we're just going to get right to it. This isn't a mod. This isn't a drill. This isn't me playing a trick on you. I would never do that. This really happened. They just dropped an expansion. I mean, my mind's totally blown. Sure, Resurrected came out like 5 years ago with the remaster. This is a new expansion, the first in 25 years. I'm so excited. The Warlock is a very stylish dude. Alright, we gotta remember how to play D2. You know, I'm sure we can figure it out before too long. You never really forget. Now, there were some changes with inventory management, I think, and stuff. Orange Froggy, sorry, hey Kiara. You're confused? By what? By how I'm freaking out? So this is a very old game, and it has new content. Oh yes. Oh, I am so excited. This is Diablo 2. This is one of my favorite games in the whole world. And yeah, so D2 came out, I think, in 1998. Don't let me lie to you, but I'm pretty sure this expansion came out in '01. The last expansion came out in '01, called Lords of Destruction, which added in a couple of classes and a whole new Act 5. And then 20 years after that, in 2021, Diablo 2 Resurrected, the name of this game, which is like a remaster, came out. And it was a pretty faithful recreation of the game as it existed at that time. But now, 25 years, there's a new class. I don't know what he does. We're going to learn. We're going to learn eventually. Alright, so Chaos Eldrin summons. Yes! Glorious, my favorite. Alright, so we've got Goatman Demon summons. We can blow them up. Defiler that binds them for... Oh, nice. I love summons. I don't care if they're good. I've never cared if they're good. Alright, so we've got like a spellcasting tree for fire. How the game works is each level you get a skill point. It's a very classic game, so it's very possible to play it badly, and it's highly randomized. So what we're doing now is heading out into the Bloodmoor for the first time.
Darkness shall yield to me, or perish.
You're currently very sick? Oh no, well that is horrible. I hope you get to feeling better soon. The bolt just churns through him. So basically, this is an online character, but we're just probably playing in a default world, so probably not even open to people not in my friends list. But so we have a weapon, which is the knife over my head. No, that's just where we're holding it. Got it. Good. Love it. 104. Oh no, my goodness. Well, yeah, you stay in bed. Don't think too much about anything. Just remember to breathe, right? All right, we're gonna hurt my finger clicking. We're gonna have to figure out how to play this with a controller, and it should be easy enough. Alright, but I remember this from the past time. So, like, I'll play with the controller, but the menus infuriate me. We're just taking strength points here, because that determines how you can use your armor. Alright, we're obviously... Whoops. Alright, so we got our Goatman Demon. So, unlike, no, we We have access to other stuff there, so how do I even... So when you're using the keyboard and mouse, you only have 2 abilities at any given time, which is, of course, like, horrifically archaic. But, you know, the precision of the mouse is good for some things, and there's other things that it's not so good for. What we're doing right now is trying to do the first mission of the game, which is we just go down into this pit and kill everything there. The thing about Diablo is they couldn't make a game like this anymore because it's not interesting enough, right? It's, you know, people would demand better, but because I already love it, I can see past all of the notable flaws. Like, I just really like playing D2. When Resurrected came out, it was actually right when I had gotten my hands fixed, and I played a whole bunch of it then. Yeah, so we have a Goatman demon, and the Warlock is the best class ever. Because honestly, I just want to pump the demon and just do that and get, like, I don't know, like a bow or something. I don't care. I love summoners. There are plenty of people out there who think of playing a summoner as, like, the most boring way to play a game. Because, I mean, it's kind of like an action RPG. Back in the day, this would have certainly passed for one. Yes, Luke! Yes, they did! They did! They really did! It's all true! You know I would never lie to you. I have a level 2 Warlock. Look, we got a little Goatman summon. Summon Goatman. No, Luke, I would never. I don't believe in treating people that way. I would never, ever have done that. This is all... you can imagine the way I felt, right? And you're welcome. It's all true. Look, I got a little levitating dagger. We shoot little miasma bolts. And I guess they upgraded the... I'm like, how do we open the inventory? The inventory automatically sorts now, which, I mean, come on, you know we all wanted that. So, I mean, really, even though I'm super pumped to play this class, it probably won't be too long before I make another Necromancer and Sorceress. No, I don't know how deep I'll get into it. Whoever could. But yeah, no, crazy. And of course, they didn't announce it ahead of time. They just dropped it, just like with the Oblivion remaster. It's, can I just say, too, since I'm not a guy that sees a lot of advertisements, I am loving this world where they just, like, drop the game and give it to us. More of that, please. He said, he goes to show how sick people are at Diablo 4. You know, sometimes one of my friends will ask me if I've been interested in playing Diablo 4, and then I'll ask them a little bit about it, and before they finish telling me about it, they're like, you know what, never mind. I don't want to play it either. But I should say I haven't played Diablo 4 at all, so I don't really know. I did play 3, you know, some. More than a regular person plays a game and calls it some, but for me, like, I don't know, not like a lot. I didn't know, like, everything about 3 at any point. There was a time when... I mean, who knows everything about something, right? I knew almost everything about Diablo 2. You know, item stats and ranges, you know, I could tell you, you know, what was up on a unique when it dropped and what it could be based on, you know, what it could be and that kind of thing. I had a pretty good knowledge of how much forum gold things were worth. I was very into it back in the day. And I have an incredibly fond memory of this one time in high school when somehow my friends and I all got our parents to allow us to, like, drag a few desktops to one of our friends' houses when there was a ladder reset. and we stayed up all night, and you know, played Diablo 2 for the reset. It was the best thing. Oh wait, no, I'm lying. That was on a break from college. Now I remember the computers that were there. We didn't have to get permission for the computers. I'm like, wait, why am I telling the story this way? There were other Diablo parties, but not that big. We all had like our roles, right? There was, I think it was 4 of us in the room. Yeah, and you know, we had the sorceress and the paladin. You know, everyone had their thing. When was the release of each Diablo game? Oh, don't let me lie to you. But there was a very big break between Diablo 2 and 3. So long that people once thought Diablo 3 would never happen. Where is it at? Stamina potion. Wait. Okay, this is crazy. But yes, there is a cow level in this game. Where is it? Is there like a bridge in one of the places we haven't gone for a whole nother wing? The Blood War doesn't look big enough here, right? Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe there's going to be a bridge for a secondary thing right here. Yeah? No. Where is it? Where? I'm fine, I just want to know where it is. Was it top left and we just dropped that search before we got there? So obnoxious. Am I enjoying the new update? Yeah. Mainly I'm right now just psyched that it exists at all. And we are... Look, we should have finished the first quest by now. All you have to do is find this little place and go down and kill everything there. It's easy, but I haven't found it. I am gonna lose my mind. And there'll be a little icon on the map, and then you could see it if you'd passed by it and forgotten. It would look like a little purplish thing, you know. I assure you that they do exist. Here, maybe? There we go. Oh my absolute goodness. Alright, now we're in the Den of Evil. Time to run around in the dark. But, yeah, so this game is old, and for that reason bad in a lot of ways that people would no longer accept. But they fixed the worst of all of them, which is that... So, we'll open up the inventory once I've killed all these folk. In the inventory, as you see, everything takes up like an amount of grid slots. So far, so good, right? But, in the original, up until this update, they just went in a row, and then, like, if you had one that, say, would have fit here, but not there, like, anyway, it wouldn't auto-sort it for you, and now it will. And that is going to make my life a million times easier. Big time between Diablo 3 and 4 as well. Yep, that makes sense. I didn't play Diablo 3 on release because I didn't believe in it. I was like, no, y'all don't know what you're doing. At least I think that's what was going on. And then, look, the release of Diablo 3, although I didn't play it on release, was a contentious time. And it was not just me that didn't think that they were going to do a good job. And ultimately, they changed about 1,012,000 things between that and some of the expansions, which I did later play. But most of my Diablo 3 I actually played on my Nintendo Switch. I had this exercise bike, which has since broken, but I would, you know, sit on that and pedal away and play Diablo 3. You know, so I played a bunch of it there, but, like, you know, just for fun, not like in a serious way, not like Diablo 2. These guys with the flame staffs, of course, resurrect the dead, and they do that infinitely, so those are the important ones to pop. The dead fallen, they, you know, they have a specific kind of demon that they're associated with. Even if this is real, this is very clearly real. Like, first of all, I wouldn't lie to you. I mean, I would, but only like to be hilarious. Not like this. I would never lie to anyone like this. Not ever. One of my friends lied to me once about Elder Scrolls 6. Like, you know, they had claimed that there was news about it that wasn't true, and then I later found out that they were, you know, I still bring it up to them if they ever say something like, come on, you know, you could trust me. I'm like, no, you're a Decepticon, you're a liar, you're a traitor to the Alliance, take them away. But, dude, if 3K ever gotten, if you ever see a title like that, just know that it would be real. I don't dare to dream for that, although it would be wonderful. No, if this was something like a fan mod that somehow existed, I definitely would, like, tag it as such, you know. I'm not gonna pretend that Creative Assembly put halflings into Total Warhammer, you know. If I play a halfling run, we're gonna be clear that it's custom. Doing a bit would be funny though. Just say like, oh, this is all new, great stuff, can't wait for the new thing. That would be so painful though. Alright. Identity scroll. Terrible sash, but, you know, any sash with stats is a stash at all. That's what I always say. We're going to swap to a club. Oh, right, levitating club, love it. If only it auto-swung. We are going to eat the stam potion. We are going to... I'm like, I don't have any chips, no sockets. That's too good. Too bad. Alright, that's alright. Man, I am so pumped for this little goat demon guy. Bash, bash, bash. But I have to say, maybe this was their way of making sure the animations all looked great. Oh, yeah, the lights came out. As we all know, when the lights come out, the quest is done. We pop a town portal, because although playing on the controller is so much better for my hands and for the game experience, so, you know, the game's still the same. If you're playing on mouse, you have 2 skills, and you can hotkey them over, you know, but really, you need to click to move, right? It's not WASDF to move. And you only really have 1 skill to use most of the time. Or you could do this, and left trigger brings up another set of things. Movement is so much better on the controller. There were very few classes that I would play with the mouse instead, and only for very specific things like corpse explosion, necromancer, targeting, and stuff. And you say, the game's one of the better Total War games? Oh, no, absolutely. No question. Alright, so we're going to take more strength points here. Reason for that is you always take strength points to start out. Look, if you're just playing Diablo, it doesn't matter. You can do what you want. But you take strength points to start out and a little bit of dex for block if you want block. I think we'll probably not get it because we're just playing normal. You get strength because that determines how you pick stuff up. Dexterity affects the damage of some weapons, none of which we care about. We're going to take this thing to passive here. Alright, what does each level get us? A little bit of attack rating, bunch of tankiness, and just raw damage on there, and a little bit of attack speed. Well, oh, weapon requirements go down. I'm trailing off. Basically, the stats are strength, dex, vitality, and energy. Energy only increases how much mana you have access to. A true player never puts a single point into energy. This is a very specific build. Strength, you get exactly as much strength as you need for your eventual weapon that you plan on wearing. Dexterity, you get enough for maximum block if you care, which is about 2 per level for every level. There's a way to go get into it to figure out what with your eventual shield. And then every other point goes into vitality. Now, you could theoretically play in a different way if you're not playing hardcore, but for my money, it's just better to do the stats that way anyway, and I'm frankly so used to it. You actually can respec now with this update. That was one of the things they changed, and such a good change. You can respec your eventually, not like immediately, I don't think, and maybe not like, I don't know how many of them there are, but it's very important that you can do that. 10% damage per level here on Demonic Mastery, and it'll go for all of them. All right, well, do we... There's a teleport. It's a delayed teleport, though. Normally, I would want to put everything into demon moves, but I think actually we're gonna act like I haven't played the game that much, and we're gonna take different moves. That'll actually also be very fun, right? Because we'll get to. I don't want to just tunnel vision and like put a bunch of points into one thing. I want to see the other abilities. Right. All right, and here's another example. So inventory management is absolutely insane with the controller. Like, I don't even know what's going on there, but we sell some stuff and things. So your potions go onto your belt, and ideally, you would have things like you remember in life. Eventually you can get a belt with more slots, but anyway. And although, oh yeah, and you get a skill point for completing that. And we'll just take a point in levitation. I do not think, this is, as a Diablo player, I know that this isn't good, but it doesn't matter. We're going to do it. Like, you don't split trees. You put all your eggs into one glorious basket. That is the way. But we're not going to do that. You probably everyone cookies to celebrate this remarkable news. Well, thank you, Kiara. That's wonderful. Yes, it is a good time. A good time indeed. Oh no, Luke. Those are the wrong kind of cookies. You don't want to eat them. And this one's totally passive, right? Yes. And maybe, maybe there'll be something to doing a weird little broad build. It won't be... Like, I don't know how much I played Diablo 2. I don't want to estimate several thousand hours, right? Like, like a whole lot. It was what I was doing basically before I got into World of Warcraft. Because me and my friends, we were quite serious about playing Halo as well. But this was the game I played on my own time. And it's pretty funny that I didn't walk out here and get this waypoint. Funny in a pathetic way, like I look like a noob. Like, Flavie was right there and we walked past her 8 times. The Cold Plains waypoint, so if you're not familiar, the game is randomly generated, but, with rules. Some places are always the same. Some places you can kind of tell what's going to happen. So a principal way to get items in the game is to run the same boss forever, over and over. You just reset the game and keep on popping them. Man, our summon's so very strong. So, like, there are some places where you can figure out, like, based on the way the door is facing, when you, like, see it, be like, okay, this door was down at the right from where the, the waypoint was, and that means that if we go, to the left here, you're 70% probable to get it, or whatever. Yes, procedural generation. But sometimes it's, like, basically random, but there's plenty of stuff where... If you watch a really, really, accomplished Diablo player, do runs for something, they'll look like they're kind of map hacking sometimes. But that's just knowing, what you're gonna see based on what's there. But it's not 100%. But, depending on, what run you're doing, sometimes you would just, restart and get a different game. Bishy Bosh! Bishy Bosh! Bishy Bosh is also always called Bishy Bosh. He's what we call a super unique in that they're always in the same place. They always have the same ability suite on them too, since most of the monsters we find that have what we call mods, you know, prefixes and suffixes that give them enchantments or make them faster or whatever, are randomly generated. But a super unique always has, depending on what difficulty you're in, the same qualities. So that's old Bishibosh. He's fire enchanted. He's immune to fire. He is not, like, good. You wouldn't run Bishibosh no matter what. Some super uniques have all the good stuff, but it just sort of depends what part of the game you're in and what your objective is with what you're doing. We get a stony field. This is not where we want to be, but we're going to hunt for a waypoint all the same. We've got very low stamina. Need to move to movement real quick. Moon Clan is having a party. Yeah. A non-bespoke, right? You know, it's, And in many parts of the game, Ghostly is a mod that gives them big physical resists, which is pretty annoying to deal with. These are what are called champion units, and that they only have a single thing in this difficulty. Oh yeah, this is a good shield. That's a blocking mod. I could see it as soon as we identified it. So it's not the most amazing thing, but faster block rate and chance of blocking is good for the early game. So you see we took a couple of dex points. Our chance to block is at 24. Now it's at 28. Now this will go out. Now what you really want is for it to be like at the level of your shield. That's how you know that you're in a good range for your dexterity. That way, if you get a better shield that goes up to, you know, 75% block, your max block that you're looking for, you're like, okay, now we're good. But you don't want to, you could spend more in it. Block is very good. Block blocks everything. The thing about blocking, though, is that you have an animation for it, which depends on the shield. Some shields block faster than others. Stuff like tower shields, you know, so sometimes the shield will have a really high block rate, but it'll block slowly, and so you'll block something, and then you get stuck in place, and then you're in that animation, and other stuff's wailing on you. Which, it can often happen that you want to be able to move in this game. What we're going to do... So we grab that, perfect. We're going to run back over this way, because... So, what we see on the minimap here, you know, is an entrance to another zone. We know that's to the graveyard. It has to be to the graveyard, because this one goes to Stony Plains, you know, that kind of thing. Nope. Well, if that was a path, it would have to go to the graveyard. And that's how they bamboozle you, you know, so I thought that we were on the right path, but I should have realized that there wasn't a road exactly there, and there is a road to the graveyard. I thought that patch over it was a road that was leading to it, but I was wrong. Alright, I'm like, someone needs to show up here. There we go. Here we are. This has to be the graveyard because as you see the opening here, which clearly the burial grounds it is called, and he points out that undead make for poor servants. Well, yeah, you know, they're dead. Cut them a break. We're actually gonna run home real quick. Reason for this is to buy a couple of potions of stamina. Now, potions of stamina are things you never ever have to worry about after just a little while in this game. Whoops. It's X to sell. And what a potion of stamina does is give you infinite stamina for, you know, the duration. But you get big stamina from vitality and from other stuff. It's like it gets given away like candy on items. So it's only at the beginning of the game that you really have to worry about movement. with running around. So, and the stamina potions are very cheap. There's some other stuff like that, like there's freezing potions, which they're much more highly situational. Oh yeah, I should have gotten an antidote potion, but we're okay. Bloodraven is like super good at doing this for a living and can resurrect basically everybody. But so all you gotta do is stay in motion. We have a summon here, which is very nice. And then, so she is, you know, an archer. She's a rogue that's corrupted. Rogue was the ranged class from the first game. In this class, the analog for rogue is the Amazon, which has, you know, bow and javelin variants. And rogues appear, you know, as NPCs and occasionally as enemies right here, and then as, you know, your mercenaries for Act 1. There's various mercenaries in the game. Some are considerably better than others. Rogues are... they do their best, right? You know, you don't want to... you don't want to say they aren't doing their best. They're trying very hard. And I'm sure that we're proud of them. Rogues aren't good. But they are so much better than nothing at all. They're so much better than nothing at all. We have Eliza here, and I think we sold the bow earlier. That's pretty bad. I should have remembered not to sell the bow. So she can shoot anyway, but you give them a bow and then it jacks their power up more. So it's not that rogues are bad, it's that other ones that you can get access to are a lot better. Observed Head is a skeleton-only shield. You always want to identify the caster ones because they can have skills, make a bunch of money. Money doesn't matter until it does. We're going to buy Scrum Town Portal just for a little inventory space. And so the book can hold 20 portals. We're going to go ahead and fill it up there. And then we're going to... like, how do we... like, I don't know how to set this hotkey. Is it always... oh, it's there on X, well that's alright. Anyway, I didn't have to set the hotkey. Carrying on. So now we've got Eliza. We could buy her a bow. We're gonna go buy her a bow. So Charcy, my girl, Charcy up here, she is the blacksmith. She's like, she's all brawny. She's like, it's so nice to see some strong people. Charcy loves me. Me and Charcy go way back. Alright, this is a bow with 3 sockets, which makes it a very good choice. Sockets are, you know, a thing. Sockets, you put gems or runes or just, you know, items inside of the game, and then, you know, it gets powers based on them. 3 sockets means you can put 3 of the items in, and the base level items you get, they aren't that good, but 3 sockets is a lot of sockets. So 3 of them, you know, so we can get her the classic rogue move, what everyone should be trying to do is getting a sapphire, which gives cold damage, and that'll give your person slow, and that'll really help out everything, because, you know, keeping the enemies away from you, the most important thing. Hey KP, have you ever imagined anything so wonderful in your whole life? Look, I do little bolts. I got a little goatman man. Look at him. He's got a bardiche. Oh yes, we are so back. Windthirst drops some garbage. Well, now I know what I can always do with my time. Oh, speaking of my time, Luke, I had the greatest Warhammer fights of my whole life, I think maybe earlier today. Grom, just his army, like, we held off. It was like 9 dwarf stacks in Grom Brindle's faction from the Crisis, all in sequence, you know, like a fight with 4, another fight with 4, like, just... And, dude, it was so awesome. I was a real champion. Before one of the fights, the first of them, I was like, oh man, I think we're gonna lose, you know, I don't think I can do it. I'm like, maybe if Grom gets 10,000 value. He got 13. It was the best battle map ever. This is the desert one with a huge mountain, and their reinforcements kept getting like behind it, and they had to walk through the mountain, like bisected their reinforcement zone. It was just glorious. I felt so proud of me. KP, you see you and your friends used to talk over Landline Planet. Nice, yes. I just remember like being over at my friends' houses and playing this, and just like cause who had a computer in their own room, right? Not even my friends that, you know, at my house the computer was in my parents' room for the longest time, and then eventually I got one in my room, but that was like at the very, very end of it, you know. But I didn't, you know, couldn't play Diablo there at 4 in the morning. But at my friend's house, we're just like, you know, just trying to be so quiet. But you have to click so much, you know, you have to click to move. And it's like, in my best friend's house, it was like the dining room of his house, so the kitchen, like, was right there, you know, and then inside of the dining room, basically to the side, was where the computer was. And then around that wall was his parents' bedroom. And we're just like feverishly trying to not annoy them, because they were the nicest people, but, you know, they still did, like, want to not get woken up in the middle of their weekend. But yeah, Gromby showed up in the second battle, too, so we were already, like... I mean, not Grom, he was fit as a fiddle. By the time it all finished, spoilers, but he didn't look like anything had happened to him personally. Plenty of other people were messed up. Grom was alright. He was looking like Captain America over there. Yeah, like... So, like, my parents' computer was in their room, but, like, how their room was in my house, it was, like, an expansion, right? Like, they had, like, a back porch, and then they converted it eventually into the room that was their room. And, like, the room that I was in with my brother at that point was, like, their old room. So there was a door from our room into their room where the computer was. And then I had a computer in that room, but, yeah, you know, you couldn't muffle a modem enough to log on in the middle of the night. No way, no way. Oh, the dial-up days. You say you should have a half army of young hunters. Yeah. And then they got to do Journals of the Second Battle, and then they showed up with Protectors of Heaven and stuff. That feels wonderful. Yeah. Yeah, it was. You know, I had already won the campaign. The funniest thing too was that, you know, we were just rampaging through, and I knew the dwarves were there, but I was thinking, well, you know, we're just gonna walk up there. I use all the movement, walk up, and I see 7 full stacks that are clearly within range of where I'm at. And it turned out there were even more. No, you would take the... No, that's the worst thing ever. I can't believe that. No, you can't. You can't raid other people's stuff. Even if somebody moved from one of my mules to another one, it would have made me rage. You haven't played the remastered season? Oh, yeah, so there's a button, I don't know what it is. Like, how do we... Oh, and there's a loot filter now? Oh my goodness, I'll figure out how that works. Also, there's something I saw where it keeps track of every single item that you've ever picked up. You guys don't know, like, what that sentence does to my heart. I feel like the Grinch when it gets real big and gives him a cardiac event in the movie. Like, it keeps track of every item ever. I never even dreamed they would do something like this. I might never put it down. Anyway, I was answering your question, KP. I played the remaster when it came out, and I would say that anyone who loved Diablo 2 would love playing it. It's striking. There's a button where you can... I was like, that's what I was doing. I was trying to find... the control to change it to legacy graphics, because you can do it like on the fly, but you'll be playing it and you'll swear like, yeah, probably on the controls thing, huh? Like, this is how the game looked, right? You know, you have stuff and then you do this. Oh, never mind. You can't. Alright, I lied to you. Well, for the normal expansion, you can hit a button and see how it was, and you'll be like, "Oh, this is so much better." Well, anyway, you can't do that in this mode, which is fine. Like, that wasn't fun. But anyway, what I was going to say was, you'll see by my shocking demonstration how like actually not very great the past was. But it turned out that they didn't enable that for this, which makes sense, you know. Why make a bunch of lo-fi versions of abilities that didn't exist before? But so on the offhand chance that somebody doesn't know, there's absolutely no reason to ever go into those crypts. I'm having a party, right? You know, I'm having a party. This is not a time to try to go and kill Andy as fast as we can. This is a day for joy and celebration, right? We need an identify Tomos. Oh, and KP, auto sorting inventory. Eh? For that alone, that wasn't in the remaster. That's in this. But yeah, you know, you could never go back to the way things were. I will say that Diablo 2, of all the remasters I've played in recent years, and I've played several of them, I would think that it is... oh, probably the best done, and it loses the least in... I mean, for me, emotionally, and, like, in gameplay-wise. So, like, I compare it to something like playing World of Warcraft Classic, where the sort of cracks in the system are glaringly apparent to the modern eye, or something like, you know, Skyrim Remastered, which barely counts as a remaster, you know, special edition, sorry, Oblivion Remaster, which very wonderfully gives you the world of the game, but fundamentally changed it in a better way in a lot of ways, but, you know, it's not really Oblivion anymore. This is 100% still Diablo 2. It's just, it's so much closer to Diablo 2 as it should have been. There's respecs in the game now. Yeah. So, you know how it was back in the day. You never get to take a skill, you know? Like, if you're going to be a Meteorb Sorceress, you're saving your points for Meteor and Orb with 1 point for Teleport, right? You know, everything was so saving for the future that you didn't get to enjoy a lot of it, you know? Who can forget running Tristram because you couldn't take a single point, you know, to level 18? But it also... oh yeah, KP, we're talking controller support here. Now, when you use the keyboard and mouse, it's bad. It's bad. It's just like it used to be, and it's bad. But here, you see on the bottom there, you have access to, you know, your bumper, trigger, and 4 buttons for moves, and then left trigger gives you 6 more, so you can access 12 abilities very easily and cast them very easily without, you know, moving the mouse button around and stuff. And honestly, that is the best thing about it. It's so good. It's all quality of life stuff. Now, in principle, you know, because, like, who among us, when playing Diablo 3, at any point wasn't like, man, I just wish I could use this many abilities at a time in Diablo 2. Because even if you were really good at it, I mean, like, it's a huge hassle. You know, you've got one button to click with, and, you know, one button to cast with, unless you're holding shift or whatever, you know. What fun is that? But this is just so much better. But I played, you know, I had, and the remaster, like, I got a level 91 Necromancer, you know, I made my Enigma, you know, I had 2 high, or, no, it was like an 87 Sorcerer, which was my first character, of course. You gotta have a Sorceress for Magic Find. That was old Tisiphone, my girl. And then I made another Sorceress to be a different kind of Sorceress later. You know, I had like a 79 Amazon. My big characters, I love Sorceress, and I love Necromancer, and I love Amazon. Specifically, I love, like, Boazons, although Javazons are very dear to my heart as well. But, like, when it comes to, like, what I want to do, like, I want to pick up a Barisa do Canyon and just piercing guided arrow all over everything. Like, that's the most fun. I love being an archer. It's so cool. I love this game. I'm sure that's not coming across at all. But this is, I mean, in a way, this is even more excited than I was about the remaster, because this is new, right? There's new stuff in the game. If, at some point, there's going to be an item, and I will have never seen it before. And that'll be very exciting indeed. I'll have to read a unique to know what it does. Like, totally mind blown. Oh, you can hit a button to populate the belt for potions, you know. One click on the controller. Now, I usually actually do swap to my keyboard and mouse to distribute levels and stuff, just because the menus annoy me. But, you know, that's, I do that in a lot of games, actually. Look, no matter how good they make a controller for playing a game, they're probably not going to make it good for controlling a menu. I don't know how easy that is to do, but I bet it's super hard, and that's why no one's ever done it ever.
I'll put that to good use.
Ethereal armor. And of course, the great thing about ethereal armor is that it's better than regular armor. The reason it's better than regular armor, we just need to get that out of there. We need to get a tome of identify real quick. Now, really, I would never carry one around, but we don't have Deckard Cain yet. And I just don't perceive us living in a world where we need to worry about all that. Alright, and we've got our sapphire here. Can't use that. Come on. Oh, you gotta socket it in the inventory. Makes sense.
I'll put that to good use.
Look at me, I'm a warlock. I got a little goat demon. Now, I will say, my real complaint here is that the warlock has to be a dude, super obnoxious, not at all to my preference, but you know, that's the Diablo 2 way. Some of us get to be sorceresses and Amazons, and some of us have to be necromancers, as the saying goes. Not like the enlightened Diablo 3. which had, oh man, the wizard in Diablo 3 was so fun to play. There was a lot of classes that were fun to play, but I love the wizard, and the voice actor, I just love her so much. The voice actor for the wizard, Li-Ming, in D3, if you're not aware, is Grey Delisle Carter, who did Azula in Avatar: The Last Airbender, and like 5 million other voices, right? But she also did that one. So if you ever thought it sounded kind of familiar, that's why it was kind of familiar. But she has a Li-Ming, that is to say, the D3 wizard, as a character in the Blizzard MOBA Heroes of the Storm that no one remembers being good because it wasn't. Okay. Okay, so there's nothing bad here. Right? 5% damage taken goes to my demon, so if I get hit, it gets hurt some, but it just gets a bunch of resist all, PDR, and life. I mean, yeah, what's not to like? Struggling to see what the oath has given me besides everything I've ever wanted. And we're gonna not take this teleport thing. Well, actually, if we teleport it to something, then its damage gets increased by 5, negative defense. The damage increase is like a doubling of damage, but I think we want to save it because yeah, we'll get cleave here, and that'll be good. And then we want to get a volley of expanding hellfire. I mean, clearly that's what we're doing, right? Trigger seems like a good place for volley of expanding hellfire. Cleave on X by way of long tradition, and that's passive. All right, yeah. And so now, oh yeah, we got, that's a little elegant little cleave. Doesn't take too much mana, but a nice little thing there. And we are looking for not this book. Who cares? This is gonna tell us that the Countess exists. The Countess is, of course, a character in the Black Forest. And she is a place where you can get very, very reliable rune drops, but not what we call high runes in the parlance of the game, but still very good runes. It's definitely a thing that I used to do, and still do, you know, depending on what's going on in life. Where when I get to Nightmare or Hell difficulty, I will... Oh, that was Rakanushu. We didn't introduce him. Rakanushu is a super unique that lives near these stones, the Cairn Stones, which we're going to come back to. We cannot currently use the stones. We have to go through a little area first, which is why we're walking on this wall looking for a route down. You've heard they don't know who the voice actor is? You know, I would believe that. The 90s were a wild time, right? Keep on building strength, a little bit of dex. But no, I'm so pumped. Not least because it's just, you know, when you have time to think about something, you know, you can think about what might be there or whatever, but this is like the best kind of surprise possible, where no one has to explain to me what's inside the box, and I know that I'm gonna look. Because, like, new Diablo 2 class. I had to read it 50 times to be sure it was real. I'm not a person that pinches my arm to prove that I'm not dreaming. That's stupid. You can pinch yourself in a dream. Like, it doesn't mean anything. Like, get real. But, man oh man, did I ever double and triple check that I was on a real computer and that I did not appear to be in a box like in that Rick and Morty episode where they were really trying to figure out what happens whenever, you know, you trust a narcissist. That may not be precise. The one with all the simulations. You know the one. Hungry for apples? Yes. What's the same with this? Is that like... Yeah, just attack rating. So, plenty of things in this game don't matter at all. Or if they matter, it's so little that you don't ever have to think about it. These things are things like armor and attack rating. There has never been a more useless stat in the whole world than armor in Diablo 2. You gotta get like 500 frickin' million of it to even make it matter. Don't even think about it. There's a stat called physical damage reduction, and it does what you think armor would do. Armor doesn't do that. Armor reduces by a comically stupid percentage the ability of enemies to connect with attacks. But does it work on ranged attacks? No, that's a different thing. You can decrease ranged attacks by a different thing. Now you might be thinking, you're making it sound like ranged is the most damaging attack you ever have to worry about. And that this percentage is so small that you wouldn't even notice anyway. Yes, I am doing that. Once... when one of our friends was like playing for the first time, they were, you know, we were all more experienced. This would have been in high school, and they were like, no, this skull cap has 12 armor, so I need that over this light cap with only 6 armor. And I just remember us all being super rude about it, you know, just like regularly normal people about it, not at all like jerks. Right before Borderlands 3 came out, they released free DLC for 2. You surprised with that? Yeah, dude, because I'm so immune to advertising, there are some times when, like, I'll, like, talk about something I wish exists, and someone will be like, oh, yeah. Humble Bundle does it to me all the time. You know, like, I end up owning a game from Humble Bundle that I didn't even know existed. They did, or Epic, you know, whenever I used to get on there still. But then, you know, Epic started making me, like, authenticate all the time to log in, and that annoyed me. So you feel life passes by in an instant. Feels like, oh, last week you're playing this. Isn't it crazy? You know, and you just... Whoops. You just pick it back up, and, you know, the music plays, and... Yeah, you know, you run into town, you chat her up real quick because you know she's the one that heals you. It's, it's a good time. But it was, Tiny Tina's, Borderlands adventure thing. And I guess they were doing the Epic giveaway to promote the real game that existed. But I didn't know the standalone game existed, which I do own, and I played, like, some of... But then me and my friends stopped playing it, and I never played it again since then. But you know how it is. Borderlands is more fun with friends. Plenty fun on its own. But man, Borderlands 2. But because I was playing the D&D campaign one, you know, the one-shot Borderlands 2 thing. I was just like, man, you know, this is really good. You know, they're really hitting these emotional notes, and you know, like all the mechanics are working great. But then I wasn't compelled with any of the way that they were doing the standalone game, right? I was glad to play it with my friends and stuff, but the reason that I liked the standalone expansion was, you know, we had, you know, these characters that we could like and care about, and like there was symbolic stuff going on that we all understood had stakes. And maybe that was eventually going to happen in Tiny Tina's Borderlands, but it certainly didn't feel like that was what was going on at all. And I was just like, eh. And the thing is, like, I love Tina as a character. Like, she that's my girl. I think she's hilarious. You won't find a recording of me in any timeline at all, who, like, doesn't think Tiny Tina's great. She's so good. She's the best. And, but even that didn't keep me coming back, because, like, the game just didn't, you know... Right when we were doing it, one of my friends was like, hey, you know what? You said you didn't play 3, why don't we just play 3? And 3 was just, you know, for all its flaws, especially compared to 2, which is unfair, right? It's very much like, whenever you compare Borderlands 2 to anything that comes after it, it feels like you're clubbing them for doing such a good job, right? Like, fine, we won't ever make a game that great again if you're always going to compare what we do to it. But I did not pick up for it all. And if I eventually do, it'll be, you know, it's one of the few people that I do game with wants to play it. So I only really, you know what, why don't we go for large axe? No, 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 no. You're joking. No. What is happening is I am discovering in real time that this character gets to equip a two-handed weapon in one hand because it's levitating and still use a shield. Oh my god. Oh, this is a good character. I am a very excited boy. Alright, so this is attack rating, magic damage. Yeah, we definitely got to get that. Now that can go on the back because that's a 2-minute sort of thing. Oh yeah. Wonderful. Wonderful. So this is one of my favorite things to do in Diablo is play hardcore, and this establishes the character as a very strong hardcore character. You have summons, you have crowd control, and you have the ability to, if you choose to accept it, do damage while still having a shield. Having a shield is very important. It's, in fact, kind of mandatory if you're playing hardcore. Now, there are exceptions, but in general, if you don't have a shield, you're gonna get to play a lot of new characters, is how I like to say it. All the characters I lost in Diablo is how I was able to emotionally prepare myself for Minecraft hardcore. But yeah, but no, that Tina DLC, Borderlands 2, amazing. Man, the first Borderlands DLC, I really liked that game. My roommate and I would play it, and I would, you know, because we had, like, a story mode. He had played it before, I think. No, he had played 1, that's right. And he really loved 1, and then we were playing 2. He was a little bit ahead of me, but then we, you know, we restarted to play together. But I would start new games and farm up the passive points, the badass points, and, like, whenever he was, like, you know, off at work or playing a show or something, or you know, whatever was going on, and we weren't playing together. So he would be like, so I'm like, oh yeah, I got 4% increased, you know, critical damage now, so I'm a monster. I'd just, like, start new characters and play, like, the first 2 hours of the game over and over. Because I'm a totally normal guy. Everybody knows that about me. Alright, please go into the belt. Yeah, and this enchantment actually does a ton of work. We got a big punchy weapon with 2 sockets. We just barely have enough strength to be able to use it, but that is why we took the strength points early, just like I told you we should. Yeah, like I would have, you know, because I was playing a siren and he was playing a commando. But I would have, you know, other characters that I would, like, get up there. And then sometimes, like, you know, if the mission called for it or whatever. And he was like, hey, don't you have, like, a berserker around here? I'm like, yeah, or gunzerker, of course. Cancel actually start levels already. That is nice. Not least because you spend a bunch of time not really having a lot of abilities. And then you're kind of at the end of the game. So being able to start over when the enemies are, you know, enhanced where it's a little more choice all around, I feel like that's real solid. In fact, my friends and I often wish for that. All right, time to party. Party all the time. Now, these brutes are tricky. We're gonna drop this explosion. Oh, yeah, Fire Nova. Get wrecked. Alright, so this is the tree. The Tree of the Scroll of Inifis, which we will now read. And while you could theoretically look at the scroll and from that figure out the order, as a gentleman, what you do is click on the stones until you get the correct order. I don't make the rules, I just know how to follow them. Heyo, and then we get here just like we needed. We're going to go back to the encampment real quick. This is all stuff that, like, so I'm like, if I was playing a normal game, I would be like watching these people talk. Whoops. You know, we would be talking to folk. And I'm just like, and then we'll walk here, and then we'll run there, and then obviously we'll teleport back here. Menu, menu, menu. I know what's going on. Oh, she's translated the runestone? Well, that's good news. Wouldn't know what to do without you. Sorry, that's being ungrateful. And now we drop off the chips at the stash. Oh, no. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Never seen anything so beautiful in my whole life. I'm legit. I'm not even doing a bit. I'm tearing up here. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Stackable. Stackable gens in rooms in the I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Alright, it's over. We're a Diablo 2 channel now. Yo, they have gotten rid of all the parts of this game that weren't fun. Oh boy, oh boy. And we're gonna roll in and we're gonna be like, Deckard Cain, you must leave this place at once. You'll see. And like always, like a gentleman, that's not mandatory. Cackling is fun though. You should try it sometime if you don't normally do it. Enter in, Tristram! We're gonna run right in here and drop. Three Novas seems okay. Oh, Griswold. It's many a horseshoe you mended back in the day, but now it's time for you to get hit with an axe repeatedly. Goatman is cursed, but still doing totally fine. We're gonna get this beatdown finished. Easy peasy. And not enough Frost Nova damage to be a worry. Enough to slow us down, though.
Go to the rogues' camp now.
Really? That's the voice line? What? Oh, that's too bad. Missed opportunity. That's not an epic voice line at all. Fine. Whatever. Technically a line. Go to Rogue's Camp. Look. I'm just a person with beliefs about what the line you say to Deckard Cain should be. And they should have a little bit more panache.
As a token of my gratitude, I will identify items for you at no charge. Regrettably, I could do nothing to prevent the disaster which devastated Tristram. It would appear that our...
It's like, you know, the early voice actors, wonderful stuff.
Stay a while and listen.
I mean, just... You can talk to him, and what does he say? No, you can't make it do it a bunch. Stay a while and listen.
Not in town.
Whoops. You know, I still keep thinking that X should sell things, but it never will, and it never does. Alright, alright. Well, now that we've got Deckard Cain here, you know what happens next. We go forward in time. What we're looking for now is... Like, can we still... Yes. That looks like the exit there, doesn't it? That certainly looks like a small wall with the path leading out of it. We're going to check that. I feel like that's the right thing to do, and then we'll revert later, or we could just port over. But we're gonna go, you know, to the Black Marsh, and we're gonna find the Countess, and we're gonna hit her with an axe. Yo! Man, but this build with a little bit of mana leech, Ability looks pretty cool. Hey, Stamp Shrine, just like I always wanted. Black Marsh Waypoint, there we go, there we go. Dead Rog you. It's like, how is this the sound at 8, you know? Even less of it. More music. You know, it makes you wonder how, like, unaccountably loud the balance is normally. Which, look, sound is a very important part of the game experience. But in a game like Diablo, when you're going to hear the same sounds so many times, even if you're, like... Even if you're not a totally regular person like me, I feel like that much repetition would annoy you. But as for me, that's the sort of thing that I just can't take in too large of amounts. It's not so bad if it's, you know, not so loud, but it doesn't take too much to get to me. But most of this... So the thing about Diablo 2 sounds, though, is almost all of them are, like, you know, deeply comforting to me. Like, the twang of the rogue's bow and the jingle of gold upon the ground. You know, the... Whenever you hit one of the maidens there and they fall over, you know, like, that's all, like, going back home, you know, but in a way where it doesn't make you sad.
I can't use this yet.
Wait, I have a skill access. We're gonna get... a chance to make the enemies attack one another. Well, I guess we'll get the sigil then. Not least because we have access to it, and that's the point. We're gonna get all the abilities. Alright, so... it's not super clear on the ground where it's at. The sigil, that is to say, but... it's alright. This is an awesome... this is such a cool character. The Goat Man is still matching up pretty well. The thing about summons in D2 is traditionally they fall off incredibly hard. And this is, of course, a good thing because if summons were better than not summons, then, you know, how much playing of the game would you do?
Blood smells far sweeter than this.
See, we just go for auto production. Oh, nice. Just a word. Yeah, I don't have like that a good ear for sounds, but sometimes, you know, I'll hear a thing and I'm like, wait, are they all using like one drum machine? I'm like, they didn't play this on a kit, you know, like just that kind of thing. Pop the ghosts here, boom. Now, the tower, you never have to explore anywhere. All you want to do is go down. And the Countess is on the 5th level. The 5th level is the same every time. The Countess is the same every time. She's not. Sometimes she gives you what you want, and every other time, you reset and do it again. But I don't have any sort of real background in sound, you know, not really, but I have, you know, like watched a video here and there over time, and it's always so interesting, you know, like you'll see an old-timey picture of, you know, like one of the, you know, probably the same ones that we've all seen, you know, some old dude, you know, in black and white with like 100 things on a wall, like hitting something with a hammer and like dropping a thing next to a microphone into a bowl or whatever. And everyone who played percussion in high school, like me, you know, dreamed of playing music that way, where you just hit random stuff, you know, and But the band director didn't want us to be in Stomp. You know, the band director wanted us to play John Philip Sousa, which makes sense. I wouldn't want a bunch of kids banging on the music stands either. It didn't sound as good as we thought it did. You know, sometimes you gotta get a little bit of distance before you can tell. We should have bought more monopots. Now we'll be fine here. Oh, we can see the sigil just fine here. Alright, yeah. And no monopots and all that? Seems fair. Ethereal shield, garbage. Well, if we could get sockets for it, we can keep on wearing that. We're just going to swap these over right now. 4 max damage is 4 max damage after all. And we will just flip it over later if it becomes necessary. This game is so much more playable on a controller. It's funny that they took no steps at all to make it better to play on a keyboard and mouse. Which, like, you know, whatever, who cares, not me. I'm just happy it exists. Hey, and then we get Ice Thirst the Hammer, which I was sure was going to be cold enchanted, but wasn't. Alright, and now, as soon as we put that on, we get a Topaz and an Emerald for a little bit of... So Topaz is the chipped one, is 1 to 8 lightning damage. The lightning damage has the biggest range, right? Fire has a tighter range in the middle, and then that's like a medium power of the 3 elemental ones. And then cold has a smaller damage range that's lower than fire, and also, you know, makes them slow, which usually is the best thing. And we're gonna... Like, we're gonna need mana. Alright, we found it. And she's not here, and we know she's not here, but... Old book! I was like, I've never heard of that in my whole life. It makes sense that it's a new item then. I was like, hey, there ain't supposed to be no old book down here. I don't know about this old book now, y'all. Oh, 3 to 5 magic damage. So our class item, the base thing that it does is add damage to the swing, which is awesome. I'm glad I didn't just do the summon. I think this way is good too. You know, we aren't really doing the cleave arc very much, but... And here, I mean, some crit is okay, but I think what we're gonna do is grab this death mark just to see. Yeah. And here's one where, so the targeting would probably be much better. That's the other thing, so it's much more playable on a keyboard. But, you know, you don't have that precise targeting that you need for some skills. Like, you can't play Meteor or Blizzard on a keyboard. But you can play Orb. And whenever I was doing Mephisto runs... Alright, we need to run back here so we're not fighting her on the firewall. The Countess is fire immune, but we're not. Or deeply fire resistant at this point. We're gonna run in here now. And she also has mana burn. It's not listed on there. Hey, and we get a couple Ithrunes. Ithrunes are, you know, not good. Max damage is good, though. Ithruns are primarily famous for being involved in the most important rune word in the game. Say it with me at home, kids, if you know it. Jaith-Bear. Now, what does Jaith-Bear spell? Well, it spells Enigma. And it is a peerless rune word. The finest in all the land. And when you have one, you'll know. Because you have access to teleport and you won't be a sorceress.
Well done, my friend.
But we're gonna... We're just gonna move them in here and then they'll be here whenever we need. I can't believe it. I can't. I actually can't believe it. Like, it's too much perfection to bear. Yeah, and you can reset stat and skill points here. Like, even if you just make a mistake. I mean, do you remember starting over a whole character because you clicked wrong? I remember. We don't need Rejuve right now. We probably just need more mana, honestly, and then we can just go much more aggressively. I mean, because really it lets you... I mean, who could forget? You know, you're playing a Javazon, and then you get a Bariza or a Wind Force, and now you want to make a Boson, but you have to make a whole new character, and you don't even know if you like the Bariza. You don't even know if you like playing with the Wind Force, or, you know, conversely, you know, any of the other, you know, build-defining weapons that are out there. You know, you get... Those are the ones that jump out to me the most, because those are the ones that say, I'm about to make an Amazon. But, you know, where you get something, you know, one of those, I can't believe this is a level 42 item type of situations. And so you have to build a whole character for it. But what if you don't like it? You know, what if you want to play a bad Necro and not a Bone Necro, you know? Then you don't care, you know. What if you don't know what kind of sorceress you want to be when you grow up? A lot of people think they want to be like a Nova sorceress, and then they realize it's the worst, and they run out of mana all the time. I'm talking about myself here. I'm like, yeah, we'll just get the fast cast breakpoints, and it'll be great. Nah. You want to play Lightning, get a Javelin in your hand. That's my recommendation. The whole level 1, we're going... Now, I know we don't need to go here, but we're going everywhere. We're going everywhere we can find. I may not be reading the quest text, but we're adventuring. Maybe I'll find another old book. And even like within builds, right? You know, like what if you think, oh, we're gonna do a little hybrid thing, and then you're like, oh, you know what? I just should have leaned into the synergy. Oh, what if you want to farm a different boss? What if you want to farm a cold immune boss and you made a pure blizzard sorceress? You know, build another sorceress. I've done it. I mean, I have 2 sorceresses in this game, and it lets me respec. But I'm, you know. I wanted to build a new character that had, you know, all my cool stuff all the way up. You know, I wanted to experience power rather than need, as one does. Oh, I didn't read that. I can't believe I didn't read that. So this dude's synergy is 1% chance of crushing blow per level of death mark, which is this one. All right, so crushing blow is really, 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 really good. What crushing blow does is do a percentage of the entire hit point bar to whatever you're hitting. Now, you've probably already thought of why it's good, which is, well, what if the hit point bar is, like, really big, like so big that would be basically the only way to do damage? Well, then it would be really good for that, wouldn't it? Yes, it would. Yes, it would. We're gonna run in here and drop the base. Oh my goodness. One level in it. Carver's even got some fire resist if memory serves. Probably not like a ton. Yeah, so we cast the circle there, and then we send him into it, and then we walk up behind him. And corruption, destruction, disaster. Oh, man. This is a cool class. You know, I was prepared to just be happy because it was new, but it's actually... like, these abilities are a lot of fun. I mean, also it might be that for the first time in absolutely ages I'm playing Diablo where I'm taking a bunch of abilities rather than just one or two, so maybe that's part of it. I'm sure eventually I'll settle into a build that doesn't care about all the trees, but you know. Alright, get rid of the Soul of Identify. Now that Kane is here, we don't need it anymore. Charge Bolt, blah. Yeah, I used to have a spreadsheet so I would know like where all the chip gems and stuff are at. I have a character called Chips because that's where some of the chip gems are at. Alright, and now we're looking for... yeah, certainly that way. Well, I mean, it could theoretically be right there. Very doubtful. We'll check, though. Without a road, though, nah, it wouldn't be here. We'll keep on going just because there's people to fight. But it won't be here. Not without a road. I'm like pretty sure. Still gonna check. I haven't played so recently that I am definitely sure. I was right. The old sound of the trap chest, and you're like, well, you know, let's just keep on running. Darkstalkers punch way above their weight, right? They are... you go through a couple of things, then the mobs in this area hit a lot harder. They haven't hit me harder. I'm just saying that they do hit harder. The thing about Thorn Beasts is they're incredibly obnoxious. And it's pretty tricky to see them even do anything. And here we are. Oh, that's a possessed one. Let's get out of there. Oh, wow, yeah. I'm like, that was too many. So their projectiles are fast, and, you know, they do decent damage, but mainly it's that they're quite small on the screen. So if you're getting shot by Thorn Beasts and you're, like, in it with, you know, like, some Fallen or Shamans, you're trying to figure out what's going on, you know, you're already a little annoyed, you know, that they keep coming back from the dead or whatever. They can absolutely just sneak up on you and waylay you before you really know what's going on. That was a misclick. We didn't need to open that at all, actually. And you might think, Town Portal, do you really need that hotkey? You do, actually. A marvelous gem. So a gem shrine takes a gem in your inventory and gives you the next level of it. So if you ever see one and you want like a perfect gem, you take a flawless one and you run up to that. That way you don't have to burn all your gems together. But here, you know, just happy to take some gem. Skull Shrine, oh yeah. Skull Shrine increases the apparent level of all of your skills by 2. It's not the true level. So like a true level increase would like give skill synergies and stuff. But anything that you get through effects in the game and not through actually putting points in, which is your 20 points that you can put in, doesn't affect anything except, you know, what it does affect. Alright, we're going to go and get, like, a bunch more stamina potions, because...
The order welcomes you.
So I need more. We totally don't need all of these health potions, but we'll just drop them whenever we run out of a little space here. Clean. I feel like this is wrong. Yeah, this can't be the right way. It might lead to the right way. So the cloister is always going to be to the north of the Highlands, always, no matter what. No matter what. That doesn't mean we're not going in a direction that's going to, like, spin off to a road to be able to do it. But there's no way that it's going down is the right way. Still happy to run around, but that's just, this is one... The interior layout of the Highlands could be a lot of things, you know. It's not deterministic, but the cloister, the next zone, is always, always above us. Which, when we approach, you'll appreciate why you need to come in from underneath the area. It's got a nice bridge, and then, you know, like, there's some beautiful architecture to marvel at. Oh yeah, and the belt, it'll like, they're not really in the belt, but it'll like shadow drop the thing so you can see. You probably can't even tell on the video feed, but the minor healing potion there on the left of the belt to the left D-pad, that one's not even really in the belt, but it still lets us access it. Which, you know, maybe I should put a stam potion on there, huh? But you know, you gotta have the wall of the monastery here, right? I thought we would get a bridge one, but we didn't. Sometimes there's a little bridge first, but the wall is always there, and if you go here, there'll never be like another door here, but it's nice. It looks like there'll be a door, but there won't, and there never will be. There's only one entrance into the cloister. There's the inner and outer cloister. You know, the outer one is the outer one. That's what we'll be entering into. And then there's a large number of internal spaces before we reach the Act 1 boss. The waypoint is always there. Some waypoints are always in the exact same spot. It might be relative to the entrance, or it might be like in the cloister where you're going to go into that one, and then in the center of that room, and always that room, that's where we'll be. But the layout of this place, so it's going to, you know, you lead in a specific way, and then you'll have these, but then one of these wings will go in. But that first big square room will always have the fast travel point here. The inner cloister is smaller than the outer cloister. You really can't miss it. The fast travel point, that is. No, it's not accurate. It's not the name of it. Because the inner cloister, that's like when you go down inside afterward. That's right. I'm like, look at me here telling lies. Heyo! Summon Tainted to fight by our side, so probably gonna have to not get the goat guy, but you know, that'll be okay. So we get a little throwing knife thing, okay. Do I get any more summons? That's the real thing. Alright, no. We just... Oh, but we get... Oh, the Tainted. Alright, so here's our demon here. Well, we'll try him out for a bit, right? And of course, he will, I guess, do Fire Breath. I'm like, and... Yeah, and we get... Bind a demon to, so you hit a demon and then you just get like an upper level one, like a iron golem, but different. Cool. I'm for it. Let's see how it goes. I think we dropped the snare off. No, we'll have to do it next time, but I'm like, is it always left and then to the jail? I don't think it's always left. I'm going to go ahead and say that the other guy is better. Then maybe he'll, like, shine against multiple foes or something. I doubt it. Because he'll at least run in and tank, right? And if the other guy did a little more damage sometimes, I feel like he spent a lot of time not doing much. As the Goatman goes completely MIA for a little bit. Chaos Wolf. I didn't know I'd run into you, Chaos Wolf. Clean. Oh, we got rid of the regular magic missile. That's what I took out. Well, that's bad. Do-do-do-do. Wow, getting tuned up there. Bone Archer's no joke. Where's Zombie Head? Alright, so normally if they don't have skills on them, they're not worth much. That one had like a blocking mod, so it'll be worth something. Just a gold, not like to another player. There's two kinds of worth in the game. The kind you only care about with a new character because you need to make money. And then the other kind where you care about what somebody else will give you for something. That's whether or not an item's good. If you can convince any player to actually care that you have it. There we do. Discretion is the better part of valor thinking. And valorously and discreetly run away. And there's the forge. And here is the man himself. The Smith. He's got Charcy's hammer, and we must give it back. Run away! You never want him to notice that you're fighting him. You never want him to notice. Alright, run away! Got him. Roderick Malice. Now, of course, you'll note that this is Malice like the opposite of bonus, and Malleus, which would be hammer, would you know, like have another L and an E in it. But you know, who's counting? Now Charcy wants it, and then she'll give us, you know, like a cool thing in return for giving it back to her, which we're definitely gonna do. Now, because we need more potions. Technically, you're supposed to save these for, like, ever. Like, forever. The imbues, we're not going to use it right now, actually, because I believe so strongly in doing the right thing. And we get a little bit of stamina on a magic item. You can get so much stamina on a magic item, right? Like... And we just got 20% more just picking up an item there. We're going to take some more points. Oh, I didn't even check how many hit points we get per vitality. I bet it's just one, but... 5 pages of shared stashes? I mean, like... What a wonderful world. You know, red roses too and all that, but...
Simple cages for simple minds.
The jail is a pretty annoying zone. It's much worse for some classes than others. Of course, it's dark like all of Diablo, which isn't too bad of a thing. But there's a ton of doors to open, like a lot of Diablo, and that can be pretty annoying. You know, you get line of sight things, you get wizards and archers like so that are on the other side of bars that you don't have like a good way to get around necessarily because you can't see. It's all good though. It doesn't help that the demons are hard-coded in my brain to be, like, adversaries, right? Skeletons could be my friends, but a goat man is always my foe. We're gonna have to unlearn that, right? Which is very hurtful to the goatmen out there that are just trying to do their best. Fire Nova doing well. That's the wrong way to get to anywhere. We need to run through this way, and then left will probably terminate pretty soon. No, it looks like it's going to loop in a really weird way here, huh? There we go. It's very easy to develop superstitions in this game. Like, I have a friend who likes to kick barrels because once he found, like, a really good rune in a barrel. Not like a high rune, like an ist, you know. We're like, hurry up. He's like, no, I gotta check these buckets. It's like how, you know, like you play an RPG and, you know, you check like a clock and get an elixir. Now you're checking every clock. One waterfall gives you, you know, your reward. Now you're checking every waterfall. This guy's Chaos Wolf. I just killed Chaos Wolf. Oh no, the ghost came back. He knows it was me. Exactly. Wolfenstein pressing all the walls in the game, or any of those old shooters, you know, because like the secrets would just like be if you. They were really secret, you know? Run and jump at every wall and maybe you can go through it and then you'll find the blue gem or whatever. Whoops. There we go. Oh, almost got popped by that. Cursed, and then hit with the Nova. Long-lasting curse for the early game. Sometimes they'll get you with that, right? Like, why does this status effect that makes me take double damage last for 22 seconds? Like, oh, well, you know. We wanted you to know what it did. They gave me the bamboozle there. That's right, we got... The Goatman was gone. Now we see the way down, but there should be a fast travel point. Nope. This one's like missable, like you don't have to get it. I think there's one in jail too. It's been so many years since I played. Here we've got the most annoying thing, which is where you have to walk through a little maze in order to get the next one. Is it in jail 3? I don't think so, because jail 3 just leads to cloister. New baby animals coming to Minecraft the next update. Oh, how exciting! What are we getting? I mean, I guess I could look it up. I've gotten a really good item off of a rogue body before. But I eventually got over checking every single one. There's just a lot of them in this game, right? New textures. You can feed them a golden dandelion to keep them a baby forever? Oh, that is good news. Oh, you could have the most adorable. That is good news. I would love to have a little baby panda. You know, forever. Low quality tome. Hey yo, there we go. I was like, that's gonna be one of my books, and low quality just means it breaks quick. 3 to 5 magic damage, bonus to death mark, and summon Goatman. Oh yeah, now we're talking. Bonus to skills is, even if it's not the best thing in the game, it feels the best in the game because it's like getting another level, right? You only need the one level in the skill, and then you get a benefit. I've had so much plus to skills on a character, you know, you can get like 12, 13 sometimes. And, you know, you can get that level 1 skill into something pretty special before the end of it all. We saw it's a dead end already. We were just checking the wall there to see if we could glean anything more, but it looks like that's just a blank space. Electricity mages, bunch of chumps. There we go. Cloister 1. Oh, it's jail 1, that's right. You don't need jail 1. It is skippable. You don't need it for anything. There's no super unique. You don't need it in any setting. The only reason you would want to get jail 1 is if you think, you know, maybe I'm gonna die. and I won't have a portal, and I want to get jail 1 because otherwise it's a long, long walk back. But you never need to go back. Lots of these other ones you need to go back for various reasons. Like maybe, you know, if you're helping a friend with a character, you would want to be able to go, you know, to such and such a place so that you could get the Tristram book for them. You know, they would have to pick it up. You can't just do everything for them. But lots of it. This is Geed. He's greedy. He says he's not. He is, though.
Greetings.
Stay a while and listen. You know, we'll just... Whoops.
Not in town. I can't do that here. Not in town. Not in town.
Need some boots. Do we have any cash? 16k. It's enough to get like a movement speed 1 if she's got them. She doesn't. No big slot belts either. We might be able to talk to Geed and roll on 1. Each time when you gamble, you can have a different thing. We're looking specifically for a kind of belt, which I think we can get access to. We're not going to try like forever long. That is guaranteed to have another row of slots. Belt's always... Ah, there it was. I went too fast. Well, now we know we can get one. I just need to not... There we go. Identified belt. And it's actually a rare belt with replenished life, which is sort of like gives you life over time, right? But importantly, now we have a whole nother slot. Perfection. Just what we needed. There's nothing more important than belt slots, believe me. Just believe me.
I can't do that.
Because there aren't any things more important, and there never will be. Look, you could just put them in there. The cathedral. of course, Bone Ash. Super unique in the back. Around the corner here is where you go down to the next zone. Oh, that's a bad time to run out of stamina potion. We're just gonna go in here. Basically just so we can pop him, just so we can get into a safe spot for a second to enter this menu to drink the potion. If you're playing on keyboard and mouse, right, you can just open an inventory while you're walking around, but you cannot do that on controller. That's one of those things that you can't do. You gotta, you know, work your way around it. Oh, we're gonna die. Oh, we gotta get away. He's gonna blow up. There we go. My boots. I'm gonna be so quick. Are they ethereal? No. But, you know, we get our gore feet. We get a little bit of Mana Steel, which is fine. Thorns, which doesn't matter. Leap to Barbarian, which, you know, we're not a Barbarian. But really, it's about faster run walk, which is immediately noticeable. And I had just been thinking we would like some boots. There are way better boots that you can get. The light boots are better. Basically every other boot's better, but it's okay. Better than nothing at all. Alright, and we get another level here. Do we get... Oh, no, it's character points we have. No? We just hadn't been there? I don't know why that was lit up. Why is any of this lit up? Oh. I was remembering the past. Kata 1. All you have to do in Kata 1 is find your way out. In Kata 2, you have to get the waypoint, because sometimes you want to go and fight Andariel like 18 times. Don't ask. You'll know it. If you want to, you'll just know. Alright, now we've got our explosive axe. How's it work? Whoops, not like that. Oh. The lady. Let's get her back. When you're, your mercenary dies, all you have to do is talk to the person to resurrect them. It's annoying in some towns because you have to walk like pretty far in order to get to them, but here, you know, she's right in the center. You know, pretty good. Dead end. So dead end. Okay, so the explosion is... %70 chance to erupt from it. Not sure I know how it works. We're just gonna try to see. So you... I think we're just killing some of them so fast that they don't even get to do anything. You know, worst problems to have. Let's give another point to the demon passives. Don't want to neglect the demons after all. Kata 2. And here we get a +1 to Goatman and then 1 to the Miasma Bolt. So just better for us. You can get a low level class item that's got like +3 to a skill. Like you can get it so early. I've gotten a +3 Necromancer one that you could just like equip at level 1. And let me tell you, it's not even the best thing you can get. Arax, you know, I love giant spiders in Warhammer. But man, oh man, can they be annoying in this game. Alright, so what you do here, right? If you're ever in this situation, you lay a town portal at the exit so you don't have to backtrack. Then you find your waypoint, then you take the waypoint to town and town portal in, and that way you don't have to be annoyed that you found, you know, one place before the other. Yeah. Yep, there you go. You know, sometimes that's where it is.
Not in town.
10 fast cast, yes please. It probably won't matter. Do I have anything else? So fast cast is an ability in this game that means very specific things, right? And each character has different things, so, you know, you might need maybe maybe your cast takes 13 frames, right? And then you get, say, I'm not going to use the real numbers because I don't remember anymore. 22, 26 fast casts, it gets you down to 11 frames or whatever. And then there'll be higher and higher ones that get you to breakpoints. So maybe you could get your teleport down from, 7 to 6 frames, but maybe it wouldn't be that advantageous considering how many points you'd have to stick into it. But it's not a matter of it'll be 10% faster. It's 10 points towards whether or not it will affect you by 1 frame. And there was definitely a time when I knew the fast cast tables for everyone off the top of my head. I don't. That was a long time ago. Okay, I don't remember all that anymore. I used to, though. If I saw a table and the numbers were wrong, my brain, the way it works, would probably immediately realize something was wrong. As we joke at work all the time, we being mainly me because people are nice to me, you can always count on me to see if something is very slightly wrong. I'll be like, there's a chive on that. They're like, where? I'm like, no, it's by your thumb. It's underneath the potato. It's stuck underneath it. And I'm not on, like, look at the chives duty, right? It's just a thing I do for people. Enethrune. This tome, Ring of Fire and Blood Oath, not nearly as good as our other one. Boom, baby. Have you is there a device that makes peeling carrots and potatoes either? Not those specific ones. They do have like a big onion, right? How you fry them, and like I don't work at Outback, but if you did, they call them bloomin' onions. There's like, you prep them a little bit and you cut them, and then there's a machine that you slice down, and then it pulls them into that pedal, right? And then we have a machine for like dicing tomatoes. It's a mechanical machine. You pull it down and put the tomato in, but that kind of thing. And lemons, that sort of stuff. There's often a little gadget, but it's all mechanical effort for the most part. But we do not peel potatoes at my job. We have baked potatoes, and the fries are bought in. And then we have like an appetizer where like you melt cheese and bacon and stuff on the baked potatoes, and do that up. But those aren't peeled. We just cut the baked ones that we already have down the middle and scoop out a little bit. There's no machine for that. That one you just use the old scoop. Oh my goodness, that is a bad room to be in. Alright, there we go. That's better. Not much better. A little better. My axe broke. Okay, I'm like, why am I a weakling? What happened to my stuff? Whoops.
Not in town.
All right, so we're about to fight Andy. Andariel is super annoying. She's mega hard to kill, and she has this crazy, crazy habit of mauling you with an exceptionally large number of poison abilities. However, antidote potions cure poison. So we're gonna bring a lot of them. Maybe too many, who knows. What? Oh, do they change this game? Do all the enemies come back if we leave now? That... Oh, man. That's crazy. We killed all them, right? Like, I thought we did. Maybe we left way more of them alive. I mean, we didn't clear the whole room, but I thought we killed these guys. Guess we're about to find out. Because this used to be like what you did. You run back to town if you mess things up, and then you just, you know... No, okay, yeah. It was just a figment of my imagination. It's actually... Okay, they took some units that were supposed to be in here, that were supposed to spawn over on this side, and they teleported them into this room when we came in. That's what happened. Because Andy's room is super bare, right? This is so bare. That is what happened. Alright, so what's going to happen now... You put that down so you don't die. You walk up here, and Andy freaks out, hits you, you drink your potion. Your dude immediately dies. Oh, it doesn't auto-populate him. Well, you know, we're gonna lose. Because the thing about Andy is... So this poison lasts, like, forever. I don't... Alright, maybe we're gonna have to learn how to play. No, because then I can't use my attacks. Alright, man. I very much need to be able to access poison cures repeatedly. I guess we can put it into 2 of the spots in the belt. And the other ones will phantom populate in. Because, like, I literally don't know how you're supposed to play Diablo. This is always what I've done, and I've played so much. Like, you just run in repeatedly and die to a boss. Just over and over and over you die to him. And then you cast these spells, and then eventually you chip down some damage. They, like, you go in. Whoops. You know, they immediately kill all your dudes. You do, like, a little bit of damage. And then you run away again. Which was really hard on dial-up because sometimes they would start killing you before, you know, you engaged them. But we win the stand up there at the end, only because she was almost dead.
And the maiden's anguish waned as he looked over her charred corpse.
Man, dude's such a weirdo. But, you know, warlocks kind of have that reputation, so... Alright. Andariel down. How are we going to deal with Duriel? I mean, that's a problem for another day, of course. I mean, really standing up and hitting him with the weapon kind of helped, but you can only do that so much.
Good evening.
This is a great...
And Darius.
I can't do that here.
Finally.
Whoops.
The caravan...
I just... This screen right here and this screen right here have made me the happiest person. All the runes, and you can just put them on top of each other. Wonderful.
Hello.
Well, all right.
Yes?
We got through Act 1. 2.5 hours. Not the fastest I've ever done Act 1. But we were taking our time, right? We were smelling the roses. We were... crossing the desert. You know, these motion videos, they still hold up, in my opinion.
As the days passed, my companion told me of himself, that he had once been a great warrior, and that a dark and secret burden now weighed heavily upon him. We traveled for an eternity across that arid wasteland. How long? I couldn't say. And always a dark cloud seemed to... Good day.
I wonder who the bad guy in a cloak could be. All right.
Good day.
And Farah, of course, Act 2 is great because she heals you and repairs.
Naughty.
I don't
No, it's Atma that heals, right? Or no, what is it? Yeah, she does it, and then you get the...
I've heard.
Yeah, you get the potions from him, but he doesn't heal you.
I'll let you.
And then this guy lets you hire the best mercenary in the game, the Act 2 merc. Now, the Nightmare one is the best one. They have, so in normal difficulty and in Hell difficulty, they have Defiance, Prayer, and Blessed Aim. These things are fine, but they don't matter very much. In Nightmare, you get Holy Freeze, which is super good as an aura. It's like a freeze that stacks with normal freezing. It's wonderful. It's the Paladin aura. They're all Paladin auras. Might, which increases raw physical damage by a percentage. Nothing to shake a stick at there, you know. If you want to do physical damage, might is great. And then the other one is Thorns, which is just what it sounds like. You know, they hit you, you hit them back. Which are, in the main, better than the things here. And traditionally, the first thing you do when you get to Act 2 is get rid of your rogue mercenary.
Good day.
And here we'll probably get... Looks like prayer is bad. Blessed aim is bad too. Defiance is bad too. We'll take... We'll take blessed aim. Or we could take the person with the coolest name. Alright. Could take Fuzzle. I've known a Fuzzle before. Nice guy. No, well, that one will give us blessed aim. We'll go with Fuzzle.
I'll put that to good use.
Well, alright. Night comes first. So, okay, so we can... I'm like, where is the Chronicler? Yeah, so then we can go down here. And that, for a guy like me, this is just the coolest. Because I love this stuff, right? I love being like, wait, has my character actually found every single item, you know? And here, you know, bam, we'll be able to always look back and say, here's where we found Gorfeet. I was trying to find them under heavy boots, but they were under their name. Oh, and here are the rewards. Very nice. So you get backlight if you have gotten every unique item identified, little glowing footsteps if you for all the sets, and a different town portal if you have gotten all of the possible rune words. Which those are all three. If you don't play Diablo, you don't know how bonkers it would be to do all that, but that is no ordinary feat. Look at him. You know, he's a good guy. He's got his little helmet on. There's a little bit of a mustache. It's not really like a featured mustache, but it's still very nice. But yeah, there's a Warlock. Here's our... Like, if we load into a regular... Alright, yeah, so here, with the press of a button, I will show you what Diablo 2 used to look like. But here's our, you know, this is our amazing Necro, you know. Here's our Blade of Alibaba with an Istist. Here's our Enigma in Mage Plate. Our Shaco. Our Spirit Monarch. You know, a little Gold Wrap, little War Trap, little Chansey. Ravenfrost and Eggering. Here's Duress. Yeah, that's right. We put a Duress in there. That's the good stuff. Insight, because I'm a baller. That's an expensive thing right there. I just wanted to show off. But yeah, Insight, that's right. Level 12 Meditation Aura, pretty bad roll on an Insight, but still. Dude, Enigma, Insight, I'm so proud of... yeah, exactly, I just had to flex a little bit. I told y'all I had it, right? Like, I told y'all we had a little bit. I bet all the good stuff's on Elfie here. But yeah, you know, just that's how we rolled on our Necro, right? That's the kind of guy I am. Very classy. But, I only have the one Insight. I move it around on the characters whenever I wanted to, you know, play somebody else, but... Well, I'm It's just heartbreaking that I'm at a point in my life where I want to play a game with a story I haven't played before and experience new things. Because, man, experiencing this old thing is sure wonderful. But hey, I'll get tired of it again eventually. I'm already tired of it right now. No, I'm just tired of being awake. I think they call that being tired. It's hard to say. But Diablo 2. You know, it's look, he wields forbidden arts, bridles hellfire and shadow, and dominates demons. He's a warlock. You know, the expansion's $25. It's worth it for me already. It's worth it for me to destroy my foes and to joyfully discover the stacking of items in the stash. So you could convert them over. Oh, and then, yeah. So I guess I'm super wealthy already, because I can just, I guess we're not ladder or any, oh, the ladder maybe doesn't even exist. I don't know. Maybe there isn't currently a ladder. You would have thought they would have let you choose to make a ladder version whenever you created one. Anyway. Here's what it used to look like. Alright, so you can see that it has the ladder thing here, but you can no longer select it. Anyway. That's all I've got for you right now, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Really hope you've enjoyed. Later, KP. Later, Luke. Later, Kiara. Man, oh man. He's a fun hero. It's a very fun hero. Getting to have a shield and a two-handed weapon is just joyous, because shields are good, and two-handed weapons are powerful, and that's what you need to get Andy down. You know, you just hit her a whole bunch. I mean, we basically lived through half of her hit points without dying. It's the other half that would have been tricky, so, you know, a couple of hits. But that's what the town portal's for, right? If you set a town portal and you die, and you go through it, it stays there. You just die again and keep on rolling through, right? It's when you go in and then you go back in that it seals. But, yes, the glory days indeed. Yeah, but here's all of our... So, Armo socks, you know, we had merch, lows, which was like low gems, socks for socketed things, mids for middle runes, you know, chips, charmant for charms, you know, all of these things just for things. The old, you know, Timoleon, we just didn't play him. He wasn't like an alt, you know. He was glorious. Timoleon the Hammerden. Anyway. You see my classes, Necro and Sorceress and Amazon and Paladin, and basically that's it. I also kind of like some other ones a little, but those are my big four. They made the game so much better. And it was already such a beautiful thing. But anyway, good night, everybody.